The 2019 Guilford County Republican Party precinct meetings were held on Saturday, February 23rd. And this was the first precinct meeting that I had been to under this particular format. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when I was in New Hanover County, and a lot of other counties do the New Hanover format too, which is where you have your precinct meetings and then you go right into your county convention on the same day. Well, in Guilford County, they do it a little bit differently. They have their precinct meetings. They had them this morning. And then they have their county convention at a later date, which will be 2 weeks from today, Saturday, March 9th, down at Guilford Technical Community College in Jamestown. This precinct meeting, it's one of those things that's, in terms of political activism, is really dull, okay? But it is a necessary thing that you have to do if you want to be heavily active in the political process. And this thing, you know, the meeting itself was probably like maybe a 15-20 minute event, but it was just kind of dragged out over 2 hours and 10 minutes. Now, the party, the official party announcement was that the precinct meetings would start at 9 a.m., okay? So, I'm not a morning person, so what I'm doing is I'm rushing out the door. Unfortunately, it's raining pretty good, so I'm like driving a little too fast down Interstate 73 here in Greensboro, and I'm trying to get there before 9, which I do by some miracle. I get there like 8:57, and then it turns out that the meeting doesn't start till 10, which was never announced, and it should have been, but we're just kind of sitting around for 45 minutes, and we were talking, getting to know each other at this table, because each county commission district has a table, and I'm in District 6, and there are 9 positions on the county commission, so there are 9 different districts, and we were talking, getting to know each other, but 9:45 comes around, and David Gleason, who's a candidate for Guilford County GOP chairman, he tells the group that we're getting started at 10. So it's kind of like, I thought we were getting started at 9, and now we're getting started at 10. It's like we've already been there 45 minutes. What is going on? Which this is a little surprising because over the last 6 months or so, I've been active in the Guilford County Republican Party. Their monthly meetings have always been, the formula has always been, they're going to doors open at 6:30 and the meeting starts promptly at 7. So why not continue that same formula and say precinct meetings, doors open at 9 a.m. Okay, the meeting starts at 10 a.m., so maybe those of us who aren't morning people can actually maybe get an extra hour of sleep. Hopefully that is something that will be addressed with the next administration that comes in. Okay. So the meeting started, of course, we had our Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. And then we had just some words from current Chairman Troy Lawson. Should be noted that this is Troy Lawson is not running for re-election at the March 9th convention. This precinct meeting is his actual last official event as acting chairman. It should be noted. The convention will be chaired by, in its entirety, by Alyssa Batts. And this precinct meeting, the MC was also Alyssa Batts, and this is her first time doing a precinct meeting. And I have to say that for first time, she did a good job. I have to give her credit on that, where credit is due. And then we just had some, candidates and elected officials. This was their time to just wave to the crowd, say hi. No remarks were made. We had Representative John Hardister there, who made a cameo appearance. And then we had David Gleason, again, candidate for the GOP candidate. But the most interesting part of this whole meeting, and this is kind of why I try to go to as many of these convention type events as possible. Jim Womack, who is running to be chair of the state Republican Party, he was supposed to be at this precinct meeting to kind of be the quote-unquote keynote speaker. He unfortunately, for some reason, I don't know why, but just did not make this meeting. Okay, so what Troy did, it was he asked Clark Porter to say a few words on Jim Womack's behalf. Guess what happens? Clark Porter decides to say a few words endorsing Robin Hayes for re-election. Yeah, that's pretty wild. And then and the unfortunate thing was Troy Lawson never tried to say, does anybody have anything to say on Jim Womack's behalf? He never entertained that before the crowd, which going back now, I wish would have happened. Maybe I should have said something, but yeah. But then again, Clark Porter was supposed to speak on Jim Womack's behalf, and instead he spoke on Robin Hayes' behalf. Okay, so now we have the actual kind of precinct meeting, and basically what Alyssa Batts does here in this situation just goes through, we have this big manila envelope here of all the different, there's a form you got to fill out. If you're a precinct chair, you fill that out with your name, address, contact information. Most precincts, if you're really, really fortunate, you might have 2 or 3 other people, but most precincts, including mine, I was just the lone ranger there. But there's also a spot for vice chair, secretary, treasurer. There was also a form you have to sign if you want to use the GOP data center, and that's an agreement just to make sure you're not, giving data to Democrats. And also doing this video blog, I can't, go into, data center information. The only information I can put on this program is stuff that's right straight from the State Board of Elections. But as far as the GOP data, no, can't talk about that. And that's what that disclosure form is for. And then you get this cool map of your precinct. Yee, look at that. On the back, it's got, they have some homework for us to do. We're supposed to identify key locations where we might do precinct training or town hall meetings. It could be schools. They have conservative churches or organizations. And then it has named Republicans who might live in your district, who might be willing to open their doors to our candidates for a private meet and greet or fundraiser. Then we have, this is a welcome postcard from the Guilford GOP. Supposed to go and target new residents or newly registered Republicans and give this mailer to them. Pretty cool. Then basically, as precinct chair, you're supposed to go around the neighborhood and see who who your Republicans are and see who wants to help out with you. We have a little form to fill out for your block captains. Now, my precinct is not very big. My precinct has the whole PTI airport and maybe a couple little subdivisions. So as far as block captains, the most I would probably want or really need is probably maybe 1 or 2 block captains to help me with that. But it's a pretty small precinct. Okay, we have a volunteer sign-up sheet, and then a voter registration form. Let's see. They also gave us a schedule of the 2019-2020 election cycle. Engage neighbors, canvass for municipal elections, but Greensboro is only every 4 years, so I don't have municipal elections until 2021. Staff your polling place, supposed to look for judges, attend executive committee meetings, participate in local convention activities, work the polls, organize your precinct, canvass the precinct, identify voters. Let's see. Early voting, poll greeters, poll observers, sign placement, people in charge of that. Get your map together, GOP data center, digital or hard copy canvassing list, which also are walk list or call list. Schedule events throughout the year. Promote events on Facebook, Guilford GOP social media website. Oh, and one other thing, the Nextdoor app, which guess who put the precinct meeting announcement on the Nextdoor app? Me. Yeah. Not to be arrogant or anything, but I thought that was pretty, and that's one thing I'm going to just kind of do is just start really using that Nextdoor app and really, pumping the party up and getting as many events, not just in my little neighborhood, but county and district wide. Just try to use that, because guess what, the Democrats are on there and they put their events on there all the time, and the local party here on the Democrats is really run very well. They're all over social media, and me, and if there's anybody else who's listening to this broadcast and wants to help out with that would surely be appreciated for the Republican Party, that's for sure. Okay, and then at the very end of the meeting, we had Paul Daniels, who has decided to run for vice chair of the party. The county party, I should say. And he'll be facing off against Chris Meadows in that vice chair slot. And for chair, David Gleason, Marcus Kinley, and Clark Porter are three candidates running for county chair. Okay, so I want to just kind of give you the announcements of conventions that are coming up. These are pertinent, especially if you live in Guilford County. And also the 6th Congressional District and the 13th Congressional District. So here we go. The Guilford County Republican Party Convention will be held Saturday, March 9th at 9 a.m. It says till 12, but you never know with these conventions. We'll see how that goes, right? With the business and everything. A lot of times a lot longer than what the end time is. It'll be held at Guilford Technical Community College in Jamestown at the Percy H. Sears Applied Technology Building, Auditorium Room 120. If you didn't get all that, it's on the county website or the Facebook page too. Okay, district conventions. The 6th District Convention, which is, if you have Mark Walker as your congressman, that's your district. Be held on April 13th, again a Saturday. Registration and lunch will be at 12 p.m. The convention begins at 1 p.m. That will be at the old courthouse at 145 Worth Street at the intersection of South Fayetteville Street and Ashboro. Okay. The cost to attend is $25. It includes a hot dog lunch. And then the 13th Congressional District, which is the one that Ted Budd represents, and that is my congressional district. So I'll be attending this one on Saturday, April 13th as well. Registration starts at 10 a.m. The convention begins promptly at 11 a.m. That is at the Davie County Courthouse at 40 South Main Street in Mocksville. Okay. Also, that's the same location that the Davie County Convention is going to be held. I'll be going to that convention as well as, of course, the 13th District. The only thing I would say, these be on the same dates. I just wish maybe they would have, pushed the 13th district up a little bit in the morning. That way you can maybe go to 2 of them if you wanted to. So we'll see. But maybe still can, like, I'll go to 13th district. That'll be over probably about 1. It takes about 45 minutes to get to Moxville to Asheboro. So, I'll hopefully catch the tail on the 6th district. Okay, and then the big kahuna, the big one, the North Carolina Republican Party State Convention, June 6th through June 9th. Okay, at the Embassy Suites Hotel in Concord, which is just north and east of Charlotte. So there you go. Most of my videos on this channel for the next 2 months are going to be convention, county and district convention related. And then the month of May is going to be slow, but then of course we have the big state convention the first weekend in June. So things are getting very interesting and very compelling here. And I have to tell you that me, the conservative Pelican, will be trying to go to as many county conventions as I possibly can around the state, as well as many district conventions that I can. And don't forget, keep subscribing, keep tuning into this channel for all the latest information on the convention season here in North Carolina. It is one of the most fascinating and interesting things that I've ever experienced. It's wonderful. Okay, so this is the Conservative Pelican. Bye-bye.